Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 24 of the Ball Talk Boyos podcast. I am joined, just as always, by Joey Boreski. Joey, how are you doing today?
Topher, it's a fantastic morning here in the Dub right now, and I'm excited to get into some of this ball talk with you. It's been going well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Big news a lot of the week. Passed my first CPA test, so that was a big bit. That was a reason we weren't recording for the 6-7 weeks there. So now I just got to get crack-a-lacking on the next one. Probably have to start today a little more studying. Joey, I have a question for you. How many times do you think LeBron James has jumped in his life? Like feet left the ground, like if you had to ballpark it, like how many times?
How many times LeBron James has jumped in his life?
In his life, yeah. Like, are we pushing a Billy? Probably
Well,
not
we got
that
to think
many
about
times.
every single jump shot, every single layup,
Yeah.
every single dunk,
Rebound,
rebound.
missed shot.
Sometimes he doesn't get the rebound.
No.
Sometimes he's trying to block the shot, blocked by James. All that.
In off season, all his workouts, box jumps.
Is it crazy to say a few milli?
I don't know. I heard that question posed the other week on a different podcast, and yeah, I don't know like even how to like ballpark that.
I genuinely have zero clue where to even start with that. I think
there's got to be a way to like map it out like mathematically, right? But there can't be like a quick, easy answer to that.
Because some days he shoots more than others, some days he gets more rebounds than others, some days they blah blah blah. I mean, there's so much that. That's a good question, but I think it has to be a few milli. If I was gonna
A few
guess,
milli.
to be honest. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say the same because you got to think he scored like 50,000 points total in the NBA between playoffs and regular season, roughly somewhere in that ballpark. So it's you got to think that's probably like 20,000 like jumps alone on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple millions probably not ridiculous.
Yeah. I think, I mean, because obviously he takes significantly more shots even every day practicing than he does even when he plays games. Like, that's wow. This is the deepest question I think we've ever had on the podcast. Even deeper than the how many NFL coaches can run a sub, what was it 740-yard dash?
I think it was sub 6.
Okay, well this is interesting for sure, and obviously, I mean, anytime we're talking about LeBron James is a good time. Obviously,
You can't beat it.
glorious king, can't beat it. Yeah, I'm just hoping some of this LeBron genre of music continues to spread, and we're good. Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Luka Don, A. Reeves, and then LeBron, the real big three. They had to trade AD because they needed change. And you got to say his name. His name is LeBron James.
LeBron James.
That's my favorite one.
That is a good one.
That's my personal favorite. We didn't talk about it last week, but what are your thoughts on the LeBron Stephen A. Smith stuff? It's obviously died down by this point, and I don't think it's something you and I have even talked about off camera, which is different because normally everything we talk about on the podcast we've talked about before, but I don't think you and I have talked about this at all.
No, we haven't. I see. The thing is with Stephen A. Smith, right? He's allowed to criticize these athletes. If you are a professional athlete getting paid and that's your job, susceptible to criticism. Like there's
Sure,
no reason Stephen A. Smith can't be criticizing you. But at the same time, LeBron, that's his son, so obviously he's going to defend his son. Especially when it sounds like LeBron and Stephen A. have had like a solid relationship in the past.
sure. You would
It's
assume,
tough when you
yeah.
have someone like that. Like just based on the fact that LeBron was so hurt by Stephen A. personally, that takes on
Joey,
it. But yeah,
I'm begging you as a father. Like, I think that's where it went like too far. Like, it's just like, what are you talking? Like, I think the whole like Bronny being like a nepo baby's only in it like because of his dad. Like, fine, whatever. But I think at this point, like, it's safe to say like he's in there on his own. Like he does. It's not like he's a fish out of water. Too at this point. Initially, it was a little rocky, but like
mm-hmm.
he's been very good in like we had first round picks, like top 10 picks playing in like the G League all of last year. And he's playing in the G League for the
Yeah,
most part and averaging like 20 some odd points per game. So it's not like he's outperforming other 55th overall picks. So
mm-hmm.
he's his own like I just think it's so funny that Stephen A. I genuinely think Stephen A thinks he's a bigger deal than LeBron.
Stephen A. is running for president now, Topher. So
Allegedly, yeah, we'll see. But
allegedly, so I
without
mean,
LeBron, without LeBron backing him, like he might lose. He might lose. I mean, LeBron is how fame. Like, who do you think is the best comparison to LeBron, like fame wise? At least no, probably world. Like in the U.S., he's exceeded like president level, right?
depends on the president, but I think he's more famous than Biden for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think not famous and liked probably two different things, but like yeah,
Oh,
definitely
well,
more.
he's more liked than every president to
Yeah.
ever walk
Yeah.
on
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes.
planet.
Yes. But like he's probably in like the like Michael Jackson level.
Oh, he might even be up there above Michael Jackson at this point. Granted, we weren't there
Exactly.
roaming this earth for Michael Jackson. I guess or we were like really young for his like when he was really
Hmm.
famous. But I mean, is it ridiculous to say he's more famous than Michael Jordan? Is that ridiculous to say that?
No,
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think it is. Probably just because of like the time, but it's probably like fairly similar.
Yeah, and Michael Jordan is up there with Michael Jackson for sure. So I
Yeah.
think LeBron's on like the household name,
Oh, absolutely.
knows who he is. Like obviously household name gets a little stretched these days, but like I think you're gonna if you find someone who doesn't know who LeBron James is, that's like a huge fish out of water.
Yeah.
If you go to like a even if you go down to the next tier of NBA legends, like a Kobe Bryant, like Wilt Chamberlain, like that type of stuff, there's been a lot more people who don't know who they are
Mhm.
as compared to LeBron and Michael Jordan. So I think LeBron, if I had a ballpark, I'd say like 97, 98% of
Yeah.
Americans know who LeBron James is.
Hmm.
So yeah,
He's the man on the Lakers. Ooh.
yeah. I mean, he's got his own genre of music. I mean, I guess Michael Jackson kinda, but like
Michael Jackson made the music though. LeBron's not making the music. They're making the music about him.
Michael Jackson also never put 50K points up in the NBA. So yeah,
Tell me when he does that.
when Michael Jackson does that, I will put them in the same tier. But until further notice, LeBron, you're number one, buddy.
What have been your thoughts on this NFL offseason? Like big picture, I guess.
Yeah, big picture. I mean, it feels maybe because there's not been like a monumental, like there's not been anything that's like league altering, shattering, really, in my opinion at least, that's gone
Mm-hmm.
on. So it's felt a little quieter, a little more like as usual. Also, I mean, my opinion on it's definitely dampened by the fact that I'm a Browns fan, and the Browns just.
Hey, Browns did some stuff. We'll get into those fighting Browns.
But I mean, it's been just like a pretty typical offseason, in my opinion. I
Yeah,
think the real stuff's going to come with the draft, obviously, but yeah.
we'll do the draft next week. We'll talk. Well, no, we'll probably get into it a good bit today as we talk about some of the moves that. But the draft is really like interesting this year because like I have no clue what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
I think Cam Ward's going to go first overall.
You'd think so, but
But
you
like
don't. It's not 100%.
I don't know. I feel like we would. I think people have like kind of just assumed that he's going first, but like after him, I have no clue what's going to happen. Like Shadur Sanders could go like second overall, or he could go like 21st. Like it's truly I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But all the way back on March 1st, so well over a month ago, Deebo Samuel was traded to the Washington Commanders. Um, we obviously can't go back to what we were thinking like then, but like what do you think about that? Like hearing that now with a little more time.
My thought right now, and due to recent football events, my opinion on Debo Samuel is quite low. Those recent events being the fact that he's on my freaking fantasy team this year and just
You've had him the
dogged
last
it for
couple of
me.
years.
I'm 2 years in a row. Not me wanting him, but me settling for him. But I mean, if you hear all the reports, this year it was his fault that he wasn't good this year. It was his fault. He came in overweight. He was just complaining the whole time. Like it's his fault that he was not successful this season. So, I mean, the change of scenery can only do so much for somebody who has a problem themselves. I hope he gets it figured out. He obviously has the talent to get it figured out. We've seen Debo Samuel be successful, but he's also Charmin, man. He's ultra soft. He's made of tissue paper. So like, I I don't know really. And plus, with the Commanders, I would take Terry McLaurin over him any day of the week.
Oh
So
yeah. Well, it's obviously he's gonna like be he's not coming in with the expectation of like you're our number one like target. Like it's clear he's gonna be the second fiddle, more of a gadget guy, which is probably where he's best.
no,
Like he's gonna go back to probably taking some more carries. I don't know how many he wound up with this past year, but probably more of a gadget guy. Not going to be expected to have carrying offense. Like that's not going to be the expectation. That probably wasn't even going to be the expectation for him last year. I think they were probably hoping Ayuk would be able to do that a little, or a combination of Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Kittle. But I think if he goes back to 19, the number, I'm all in on it. But since he's sticking at number one, I can't. It just I don't know what it is, Joe. I can't get behind it. It's my word. Jahmyr Gibbs is changing his number to number one, and I don't love it. I don't like it. Sticking 26. I might be out on Jahmyr Gibbs now.
we need we need running backs and wide receivers and skill position players to stick with their numbers. We need wide receivers in the 80s, and we need running backs to stick to their like bread and butter. We
Those
don't need this
20s.
single digit stuff. We don't need this single digit
No.
stuff. Like, come on, back to the basics. Like Chad Ocho Cinco, his brand was literally being his number in the 80s. Every
It's
receiver back
literally
then
his
had a number in the
last name.
80s.
It was his last name.
Yeah, so like, just stick to the basics. Debo Samuel, I mean, if he gets used correctly and has the right expectations for himself going in and works hard this offseason, cool. But if he gets in his head thinking he's the greatest thing to walk this earth since sliced bread, might be a little bit of an issue again. So that's I'm to be determined. I'm out on that right now, but
TBD.
he has a talent to be successful. Yeah.
The best thing to walk the earth since sliced bread's a great expression. Might be in the top 10 expressions of all time. Nah, probably not that high. There's some good ones.
Oh, man, I'd be spitting out these expressions like it's nothing. So more where that came from.
The Chicago Bears also in a trade a couple of different trades, beefed up their offensive line by trading for Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney. And as all of our Bears friends, our Bears fans friends, our friends that are Bears fans would say, what won the offseason? It's over. Let Ryan Poles cook once again. Three-time offseason winner in a row. Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was about to say, well, congratulations to Chicago Bears and Chicago Bears fans for three-peating as off-season champs, in their
Congratulations.
opinion.
Hang the
I
banner.
mean, I mean, listen, the city of Chicago has not won a ton recently, so to see them back to back now in the offseason, in their opinion, it's a beautiful thing. And is this the offseason? Maybe things are different, and maybe they actually did win. Maybe they actually are in a position to be successful now. Maybe. Have we said that each of the last 2 years as well? Will it be just as funny if they flame out again this year and Bears fans crash out in the first week and we have Peyton texting season's
Halftime,
over after the
halftime
first
of the
quarter,
first game. Yeah,
halftime of the
halftime of
first
the
game?
first game. Season's over.
That'd be great. I would love that. But
I mean,
I mean,
I think it's just ultimately safe to say like we are going to find out how good Caleb Williams is now. Like they've set the stage for him to be successful in our eyes. They've put the pieces around him. They beefed up the offensive line. Like they're probably going to do some stuff in the draft to make the team even better. But we will, I think, within the next 12 to 24 months, I'll give it 2 years, but like we will know what quarterback Caleb Williams is.
absolutely.
And only time will tell on that. Where should we jump to? Oh, yeah. There's only a couple more trades that really. Oh, there's three more trades that really matter that we can talk about. I'm assuming you don't want to talk about Kaiir Alam being traded to the Dallas Cowboys.
With all due respect, Kair, no, I don't care.
But I bet you do want to talk about Geno Smith being
Oh,
traded
okay,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
Lost. Oh no, don't worry. We'll get to baby hands. Geno Smith being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders to reunite with Pete Carroll. Any thoughts on
I
this?
mean, good for the Raiders. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't know what the Raiders are going to be capable of. I don't know what the Raiders are trying to do right now, but a solid quarterback. He's like without a doubt, a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a little bit of a scapegoat for some of the issues with like Shane Waldron a few years ago, and like just like some of the issues in Seattle in general. I think this is a good move. I think the Raiders finally have like a competent quarterback. They haven't had a competent quarterback in a few years now, so to get that, good for them. No more Aiden O'Connell, no more Gardner Minshew, just straight Geno Smith football, and I'm happy to see that.
I
And
think
Brock Bowers has a real quarterback now. Brock Bowers has
I,
a real quarterback. That's something to watch.
I think the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins broke my brain because I think before last offseason, maybe there's more precedent for it than I think there is. But like before last offseason, I would have been like, oh, they got their guy. There's no way they take a quarterback. And I'm like, and this year I'm like, they still might take Shadur 6th overall, like, or Jackson Dart or whoever. But I don't know what they're gonna do draft wise because like all the smoke, everything mock I see, I feel like it's Genty, but like that doesn't feel like it makes sense because they have a lot of holes. But like, yeah, I agree. The addition of Geno is definitely a good move because he's like for sure a top. This might not be crazy, but he's a top 20 quarterback in the
Yeah,
league.
that's what I was gonna say too.
And on any given week or stretch of weeks, he can play like a top 10 quarterback. Whether I don't think they'll win anything in Las Vegas under the regime of him and Pete Carroll, but I think that more has to do with the rest of their division being really, really good, and having much brighter outlooks. Do I think they can scrap their way to a wild card on a down year from the Broncos or something like that? Like, absolutely, but it's gonna be tough. It was nice. Thankfully, they got an extension done. If they hadn't gotten an extension done, I think they were going to draft somebody. But they just got an extension done, like a week ago. They finally got that
Yeah.
done, and that was kind of all the smoke heading in, was that he wasn't going to sign one in Seattle, but would there. But yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, another Seahawk, was on the move as the Pittsburgh Steelers acquired DK Metcalf for a second-round pick. What did you think of this?
DK Metcalf and George Pickens together on the same team is just going to be interesting. DK Metcalf
Crash
is a
out Central.
complete Steeler without a doubt. I mean, I don't think I'm blanking here. The Steelers don't have a quarterback yet, right?
I think they'd
Rudolph, but
they got Rudolph, yeah, but I don't think that's going to be their starter.
yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think I just want to make sure I wasn't going crazy here, but I mean, good for them, I guess, but like the Steelers just are more of a ground and pound team. They can have as many weapons as they want, but if they don't have a quarterback, who cares? And if they don't utilize their weapons, which they have a history of not doing at this point the past many
Mm-hmm.
years, then who cares as well? I mean, DK Metcalf, I think, is a good receiver, but I don't think he's gonna.
I don't think
He's
he's a
not
wide
gonna.
receiver one.
I don't think he's a wide receiver one on a winning team. No, like a
No,
championship caliber team. No.
no, most likely not.
He doesn't move the needle for me, honestly,
Unless he
at all.
finally unlocks he just screams like 1,500 yard receiving year just waiting to happen. Just because like the physical tools feel like it's there, but it's just like he's probably never gonna translate, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, he has all the physical tools in the world. Clearly, I mean, look at him. But like, it, he's. I just don't see it happening. I think that there's.
They also
I think that DK Metcalf plus with George Pickens being there, I'm and George Pickens is I think more talented than DK Metcalf. If I'm being completely honest here,
I
he's
think they're
also just
both
more of a
probably the
crash out.
same.
But they're pretty. I think George Pickens has more room to grow though because he's younger still.
Sure.
But
Probably only a
I
little younger.
it George Pickens is he's only been what like 2 years, 3 years.
I think this will be his fourth year.
Well,
Anyway,
I would say DK Metcalf doesn't move the needle for me at all. I mean,
probably
anytime you
more
can
of a
add more
finished
weapons, it's
product.
good. That's like it's more of like a finished product, like trading for
Mm-hmm.
a solid second
They
receiver.
also gave him a lot, like 5 years, 150. Like that's a lot.
Oh yeah, they gave him a freaking bag. Yeah,
Like that's like T Higgins. We'll get into him, but he like if DK Metcalf got 30 a year, like that is so like they're not going to pay George Pickens. You would assume, because he doesn't have a fifth year option because he was a second or third rounder. I can't remember, but yeah, they gave him a lot of money, especially without their
hmm
quarterback situation figured out. But that's probably a team that is either it's going to be Rudolph and a draft pick or Rodgers and a draft pick. I think they draft somebody anyway.
they'll draft somebody. I'm hearing a lot of Jalen Milroe with the Steelers,
Yeah, we'll see.
and the quarterback room of Mason Rudolph and Jalen Milroe, and
And
even
Aaron
maybe Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers
Could
too.
you imagine
Oh
that?
dear God, dear God. I mean, hey,
Uh,
as a Browns fan, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Rodgers, I think it's gonna be good. I think Rodgers bounces back this year, but still.
yeah, I think with Rodgers they can, but like I think they're still just gonna wind up being a 9-8, 10-7 team that squeaks into the playoffs and gets their doors blown off in the wild card round. Sorry, Trev. Um,
Yeah, shout out Trev.
Shout out Trev, but yeah, I don't know. Weird decision to go about it that way, I guess. Um, the your Cleveland Browns swapped out Dorian Thompson Robinson for baby hands Kenny Pickett. How do you feel about baby hands? I gotta stop calling him baby hands because maybe I have smaller hands than him. I gotta figure this out. We gotta figure this out. Well, what do you think about Kenny Pickett being QB1 for your Cleveland Browns?
Topher, being a Browns fan's hard, right? It's not a lot of happiness, not a lot of success, and at there's certain points when you question why you even do it as a Browns fan. You question why you even go through it. I mean, this is definitely one of the lower points as a Browns fan I've ever had because you're gonna sit here and tell me that freaking Kenny Baby Hands Pickett is supposed to energize me, supposed to get me fired up. We just had Jameis Winston. If we're gonna stink, which we're gonna stink, let's be real here. We're the Browns. You might as well just throw Jameis Winston a bag and have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett. This isn't college football. This isn't the University of Pittsburgh. Like we do not mess with you here, little bro. Get out of Cleveland. We don't want you here. Dorian Thompson Robinson was so bad it was funny, and he was at least like, oh, young. Well, Kenny Pickett's young too, but like Dorian Thompson Robinson, I wanted him out as well. Don't get me wrong, but Kenny Pickett really like bring back Joe Flacco, give us Jameis Winston. See if Matty Ice is trying to come out of retirement for one last go. Like anything. Heck, draft Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe. The only person that I think there's like only a few very select few that might be worse than Kenny Pickett, in my opinion, for us to have. The only one that I can think of right now, the only person I'd rather have less than Kenny Pickett quarterbacking my Cleveland Browns is Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord, you
Hey, don't
better
count
not
it
come
out.
back to the
Don't
state of
count it
Ohio.
out. Don't count it out.
If Kyle McCord comes back to the state of Ohio and the Cleveland Brown, I I think I'll have a serious thought. I'll put some serious thought into my future as a Browns fan. Kyle McCord would be my last straw. That would be my 13th reason. That would be all I needed. It would be that would be horrible. But Kenny Pickett being the quarterback right now, yeah, that does not inspire any hope at all.
My thoughts on the Kenny from a yeah, but my thoughts on the Kenny Pickett move is that they don't like any of the quarterbacks in this class, or at least not enough to take them at 2.
Yeah, they're
And
not. None of them are good enough to
they're
go to.
yeah. No. And they're fine to give Kenny Pickett a chance of like, all right, well, let's see if you're it. And if he stinks, then they're bad for another year and they take somebody next year when obviously my two favorite quarterbacks in the entire world are available next year in Arch Manning and Drew Aller. So like let's go get one of them. And so it's like if Kenny's good, then like, all right, maybe he's our guy. If not, we'll take somebody next year as opposed to taking Dart or Sanders or whoever at 2, and we'll let it ride.
No, that's absolutely the correct way and the mature way to look at it. But I'm a Browns fan, so I'm gonna have my crash out here and just move on with my life. See, when the Browns started stinking it up last season, I wasn't like tripping at all. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. The time for me to crash out is the off season, like right now. So I'm going through my little crash out, giving up hope. So by the time we get to the season and the Browns inevitably stink really bad, then I'll just be like, okay, that's what I expected.
At least you don't have to go through the pain of trading away a future Hall of Famer in Myles Garrett, and they re-signed him to an extension.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. But I see. there's been it's a win. It's a win absolutely, but there's been so few wins as a Browns fan, so many L's that like the W's can only do so much at this point.
Chris Godwin went back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for like no money at all. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, good signing. Obviously, Chris Godwin's had some injury issues, and the reason he got less money than we think he might be capable of getting is because the hometown discounts and he's been injured. But good for the
Well, I think it
Buccaneers
was pretty
keeping their
confirmed that the Patriots offered him like 25 more million, and he chose it was just he wanted to stay in Tampa. I think.
yeah, absolutely, and I think that's really good for the Buccaneers. Plus, there's no state income tax in Florida, so how much of a difference really was there in the millions? That's to be determined.
Yeah.
But good for the Buccaneers. Seeing Baker have his weapons remain intact like that, excellent. And the Buccaneers will be a contender to win their division with an 8-9 record again next year, and see if they maybe make the playoffs. So cool, good for them.
And then the only other like really big extension I would say that happened. A lot of people like wound up like just re-signing, but T Higgins and Jamar Chase. We didn't talk about this last week, right? No, I'm having
No,
deja vu. But T Higgins and Jamar Chase both re-signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. What were your thoughts on that?
honestly, with the amount of money they paid both of them, if I was the Bengals, I would have let one of them walk. I would have let T Higgins walk.
I think
I
I'm
know that's.
even different. I think I would have let Jamar leave, if I'm being honest.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was thinking originally, but I didn't want to get crucified for saying that. But I think Jamar. I think honestly, I mean, you gotta let one of them walk. It
I
doesn't
think,
matter which one,
yeah, I agree. I
right?
think you have to pay one of them. I don't think you should have paid both of them.
No, especially with Hendrickson being unsigned and unhappy right now, especially with the defense having so many holes like it has. That's a lot of money tied up in your quarterback and top two receivers
Mm-hmm.
that you can't spend elsewhere. You're
It,
relying on them to put up numbers this year, which they will probably, but like even when they
mm-hmm.
put up numbers this past year, and Jamar Chase like triple crowned or whatever,
They
they
didn't make
didn't
the
even
play.
make the
They were.
playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it would be like the Eagles have obviously paid like a lot of money to their two top wide receivers, and they've been successful in it. But one, you paid the guys too late. Like you could have gotten T Higgins for way less if you'd paid him 2 years ago instead of franchise tagging him the first time. Jamar, I think you would have had to pay top of the market money to anyway. Like that, what you weren't getting out of that one. But it also just wouldn't like they have a ton of like the defense was really bad last year. Like it will probably be better this year just off fluky year to year numbers, but I don't trust that they're going to be able to draft well enough to supplement the defense, which is what you need to do if you're going to pay these guys this much money. Like I don't think they will be able to do that.
Yeah, and they've lost some people on defense. Like they lost like Sam
They
Hubbard
let
obviously wasn't
people
very good this
walk
past
so
year, but
that way they
like he
could
retired. Like
pay
they let people
these
walk.
three
Yeah,
guys. Like so that way they could pay the two wide receivers and then Burrow. Like they let guys leave so that way they had money. And I know the owner has no money. Like he's one of the poor. Like he's one of the not poor, but like lowest net worth of um like just major sports owners in general. And like he only has so much like liquid cash to be able to put into escrow by signing these guys. But like it just doesn't make any sense. Like I think purely from a roster construction standpoint, I don't think it has ever made sense, and I don't think they win with this. Like I would have traded Jamar. I think you could have gotten like the fourth overall pick. I think you could have traded Jamar to the Patriots for the fourth overall pick plus some, and let them pay him while you pay T Higgins and you bolster the rest of the team and spend that 40 mil a year elsewhere.
Yeah, I would have absolutely tried to trade Jamar T. Higgins for sure. I think that
Mm-hmm.
would have been the smart move, but at the same
Dumb
time,
franchises do
that
dumb things.
that also would have pissed off Burrow, whichever receiver didn't get traded. So I mean, like it's a fine line to walk, but I think the Bengals just have not been handling this situation with their stars very well.
No, I would tend to agree. I'm trying to get the free agents list to load here next. Sam Darnold signed with the Seattle Seahawks for 3 years, just a hair over $100 million. I had been saying um, for the past like 4 or 5 months that he was going to get the Baker deal, and that was essentially what he
Yep.
got. What were your thoughts on him signing with the Seattle Seahawks?
First of all, you never said anything about the Baker deal, so don't try to claim this victory as your own. Even though I heard you say that multiple times, you never said it, dude. So
Oh,
let's
my
not get
bad.
ahead of ourselves here and toot our own horns. But the, the Seahawks are not in a good position right now to be winning. I think they're all. I'm pretty sure I think their offensive line stinks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's been really bad
And
the last few years.
yeah, and they also just lost DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. JSN is obviously a beast, and that'll be a good weapon
Hey, dude,
for
they got Cooper
Darnold to
Cup
have.
now.
They have Cooper Cup.
You didn't know they signed Cooper Cup?
Dude, I was in a freaking different country. I've not been paying attention to NFL free
I
agency. I'm
think this
not
is
gonna
when
lie.
you and I were together when this happened.
Was this in Milwaukee?
No, I think this is when we were at IHOP.
I was fighting a different type of battle then there. But
Well, he signed with the Seattle Seahawks.
all right. Well,
Breaking news.
As a JSN owner in Dynasty, that's not good. But I mean,
I wouldn't be
listen,
too concerned.
I'm not too concerned. But that's two solid weapons there that he has at least, and obviously Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet are both good running backs. He can only do so much with no offensive line. Also, he doesn't have Kevin O'Connell to help him out this time, so it's
Yeah,
just a worse situation than the Vikings. And we saw him kind of crumble. He folded under pressure last year. He folded under pressure. So I think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he is for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say that
but once
he's
again,
going to be
we'll
any
find
better
out
than
how good
Geno.
he is. Like, we'll find out if he can do it on his own.
We'll find out if he can really hack it. I don't think he's better than Geno Smith. I don't think he's better than Geno Smith, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I don't know.
If you told me week 17 of last season and asked me that question, I'd be like, it's Darnold without a doubt. But after week 18 and after the playoffs,
I wouldn't take so
not
much
as
from
high on
two
Sam Darnold right now.
weeks.
Oh, I'm taking too much from those 2 weeks. I'm taking a lot from those 2 weeks. And until he proves me otherwise, it's a big deal.
They're
If you can't
also another
perform with,
team that's like broken my brain where it's like they might take Dart. Like they probably won't because like he's significantly like Darnold's significantly younger than like the Kirk or Geno Smiths of the world, but like it's like they might do it.
I could see it. I could see it.
I can see. Justin Fields signed with the New York Jets for 2 years and $40 million. Any thoughts on Justin?
I love Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a fantastic young man, and I think that I'm glad he's getting a true chance to be a starting quarterback in the NFL again, like a true opportunity. Because obviously he was 5-0 as a Steelers quarterback last year, and then got benched for
He's
Russ.
not 5-0. He was 3-1.
Same thing. But
I
I'm glad
think.
he's getting a chance here. I'm glad that. I mean, I'm not glad it's the Jets. Jets are a disaster. But he
Yeah.
has weapons that he played with in college. He played
He's
with
got
Garrett
Garrett Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
He's got Jeremy Ruckert, who he played with in college. And as some loyal fans of the show may remember, I predicted Jeremy Ruckert would have a breakout year this past season.
And he
And if he has a
didn't.
breakout year this next year with Justin Fields, it's really going to
Never
help
wrong,
my
just
narrative of I'm
early.
never wrong, just right too early. So
Never
we'll
wrong.
really keep our fingers crossed on that one. But I think honestly it's a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot for him. I think
Yeah.
we'll be able to see what he's really made of.
Hmm.
Because obviously in college he was more of a pocket passer. In the NFL, he's been a runner. He's been a runner. So
Mm.
with a chance where he's truly a starting quarterback, decent weapons around him, the team's not a complete disaster at this point, like it was with Rodgers there.
Hmm.
I think it's a good spot. I'm excited to see what he
Oh,
can do.
I completely forgot about him. But Devonte Adams signed. I was gonna skip right past him, but Devonte Adams signed with the Los Angeles Rams. Not
Yes.
well long ago, but like, what do you think about
Yes.
that? After he was like, after everyone was just like, wherever Rodgers goes, he's gonna go, and then it was just like, psych. Well, Rodgers could still go there. Well, who knows?
I mean, it's weird because I don't see. I mean, they were
He's
so
better
adamant
than
about getting
Cooper
rid of
Cup.
Cooper
It's
Cup.
an upgrade. Cooper Cup's he's over the hill.
I think Cooper Cup's on the way down for sure right
It's
now.
done. It's over. It's Jover.
Yeah, I can see that, but I mean, it's another older receiver.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move. I think that him and Puka will play very well with each other. I mean, to some degree, Puka and Cooper Cup were like similar-ish at times. So I think that that'd be a good duo for Matthew Stafford to have. Matthew Stafford has weapons.
Hmm.
The Rams will be competitive as long as Stafford has weapons there. So
I
I
mean,
think
it'll
it's a
be
good move.
it'll be each of their last like kind of run at it. Stafford and Devontae. Like it'll be probably their last year or two of contention in theory.
Absolutely, yeah. This is the last hurrah for them, and
Hmm.
I think it's a good move. I think it'll be good to see them together. I think that actually is a duo that Devontae Adams is a fantastic route runner, and Stafford knows how to get his guys the ball when they are open.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. And the problem in the end was that Cooper Cup was not getting open. He wasn't beating man at all.
Cooper Cup couldn't get open at that point. But I'm excited to see this.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs, another older wide receiver, signed with the New England Patriots. What do you think of that?
Stephon Diggs is an interesting guy. He's interesting for the locker room, as we've heard clearly. So putting him on this young Patriots team with Drake May at quarterback, I am. It's to be determined how this goes. In my opinion, I don't think it's bad enough in the locker room where this could destroy the team chemistry or anything. Hopefully, but
Hmm.
I'm not too high on this move. But I guess I'm glad in purely football perspective that Drake May gets another weapon.
Yeah, it's just once again, it's bolstering the team around him to see how good he is as well, um, which will be fun to see. Now, the only other, I guess, two moves, but it kind of works out to be the same move that I really want to talk about is the New York Giants signed both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Um, thoughts?
I mean, Daboll's got some guys who can throw the football now. I guess that's good. I
They're
mean,
coaching. They're him and Joe Shane are playing for their jobs.
yes, absolutely. I think if I'm still thinking Daboll's a good coach here. I still think Daboll's a good
I
coach.
agree.
I think Joe Shane is a horrible GM, but I
Mm,
think Daboll's a good coach. So I
yeah.
mean, I think that this could go. I think that this could help things go well. But like even
Hmm.
then, how great the weapons really are there, and like it's just
Well, I mean, it's fine.
outside
Neighbors
of
is
neighbors, of course.
great.
Neighbors, of course, is
I
good.
think Wandell slash um,
Wandale is
Slayton is fine.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, and Tyrone Tracy's fine.
Hey, they might take Genty or Travis Hunter. Like now, I don't know. They
Yeah,
could take Shadur. Like I have no clue. Once again, another team I have no clue what they're gonna do in the draft.
well, they got Tommy DeVito still, so
Oh, that's right. Forgot. Tommy DeVito.
I mean, all I'm saying is if Jameis Winston wins that starting job, I'm taking Malik Neighbors at the 1-1 in fantasy. I'm taking Malik Neighbors 1-1. Absolutely.
Easily. He's about to get
Because
fed.
he is gonna get the hog tossed to him.
Only reason
Constantly.
your boy Jerry Jeudy you even think is worth a first round pick is because of Jameis Winston.
You know, I know none of the bozos in that league are gonna listen to this except like Connor or something. Shout out Connor. So and Will. So I have no
A lot
problem
of them
saying this.
will. Quinn
No
will.
crap, he's not worth a
Maybe.
first
Nick.
round pick. Oh, Quinn, of course, yeah. No crap, he's not worth a first round pick. I'm not
Gabe.
stupid. Gabe, shout out Gabe. Shout out Gabe.
Shout out Gabe. Shout out Gabe. Johnson!
Gabe.
Coach
But I
Coach
mean,
the other day called him Johnson, and it was so strange.
interesting.
So now we've just been dropping. We're gonna write a cop movie, because we've just been
Yeah.
dropping lines like he's a cop gone rogue, like Johnson. So we've had some pretty good lines about it. The last couple, we just got to start writing them down.
Yeah, just gotta start putting it together. But no crap, Jerry Jeudy's not worth a first round pick. I'm not stupid. Well, maybe like a low end first, but like listen, I have no reason to be trading my guys. Guys, all y'all in that league just trading for the sake of trading at this point. So I mean,
yeah, and I want to get in on it. I'm bored.
people want my guys who are young, and they're trying to underpay me for them or pay me something that does not interest me. So if you want me to trade my guys who I don't really care for trading
Sure,
right now because I'm good, I'm in a good spot, you're gonna have to pay. And so I'm just listing my price for guys that I don't want to trade.
sure, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I don't know if I would trade Jerry Jeudy for a singular first right now, but I have no reason to trade Jerry Jeudy just for the sake of
See,
trading him for getting that first.
Jerry Jeudy, I would be looking to like. Maybe we need to talk about this after because I don't want to give anything away. I would be looking to sell Jerry Jeudy. You know how hard it is going to be for him to repeat this year?
Probably pretty hard.
Yeah, so like I would be looking to trade him for a second round pick right now.
A second round pick, though.
Yes! Joey, he's not going to have another 1,000-yard receiving year.
You know, Topher, I will take that risk because I do not need another draft pick. My time right now
All
is
right, give me your draft picks. I'll give you Jalen Hurts.
I don't need a quarterback.
What? But you don't need 4 draft picks in the. You just dropped 6 guys the other day that you picked up thinking
They're all bad rookies.
Why wouldn't you want the more sure thing as opposed to drafting 4 who knows when none of them will ever be as good?
Draft the quarterback here.
All right, we swap Jalen Hurts for Trevor Lawrence, and you give me picks.
Plural.
Okay, Bryce Young, and I get 2 firsts.
Nah, we chilling.
Come on, that's a deal.
Topher. You got.
I like Bryce Young. I don't care about
I like
this
Bryce
team
Young too.
anymore. Come on, but you're getting a more sure thing.
Fantasy football's just a bunch of lottery tickets.
Yes, but why wouldn't you get the lottery ticket that's like 1 in 5 of winning? The tush push isn't going anywhere. He's safe.
If I'm going to make a trade to upgrade at that position, it is going to be running back, maybe tight end. It is not going to be quarterback and wide receivers to be determined still.
Silly Joe. Anything else on the NFL offseason? I think we've gone through everything of note, unless you want to talk about like DeAndre Hopkins or
I think we're chilling
Najee
with that.
Harris.
Yeah, no, we're
Or
good.
Marquise Brown. Or Zach Ertz. Or De'Ami Brown.
No, we good.
Aaron Jones. Ernest Jones. Rico Dowdle. Yeah, there's really nothing. What did pop into your head though when breaking news from Shams Charania, the Denver Nuggets are clearing house 4 games before the NBA playoffs? Mike Malone and AI GM are fired. He doesn't
I
look like
think
a
it's
real person.
Calvin Booth,
Yeah, doesn't look like a real person.
former NBA legend. Not legend, but see, I think the team's just horrible.
It's just
They,
so weird to do.
it's Jokic and a bunch of guys who are not starters on championship teams. To be honest, I'm being completely honest. Michael Porter Jr. I'm not very high on. Jamal Murray, I'm not very high on. Say what you want about Russ, but like, it's just
Wait, did you call him?
not.
Did you call him not starters on an NBA championship team?
I know they started on a championship team, but they have both
They just won
regressed.
a championship 2 years ago. Okay, sure, fair, fair.
They have all regressed.
Yeah,
This team,
Michael
the
Porter
guys
Jr.
around
has
Jokic have
never
regressed.
turned into the what at one point was supposed to be a consensus number 1 overall pick. Like he's never blossomed into that. Jamal Murray's not consistent enough. Aaron Gordon's not the future all-star that we thought he was in his younger days. The rest of the roster isn't as complete as it was. But I think it's just a weird decision to make.
I think I'm not a fan of firing Malone. Okay, yeah, that's fine, but
Like
I
just
don't think
wait
Malone was the
until
problem. I think Malone's a bit of a scapegoat right now. To be honest, I think Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world right now. That is not an argument. There is no other person you bring up that I would even consider. It is
mm-hmm.
Jokic, 100%. And I think we're at the point where Jokic is, in my opinion, a top 10 basketball player of all time. That can be a segment
I
for another
I
day.
think that's too ridiculous to say. But yeah, we can save that for next week.
Yeah, we'll see that for next week. But I just think that, honestly, the team around Jokic is just not good. It's just not good. If you take Jokic off that team, I don't think it's close to a playoff team. I don't think it's even like in contention to be a play-in team really. And
Sure.
with a lot of these other teams, you take off away one of their stars, one of their players, they're still a playoff team. Like the
Mm-hmm.
Celtics, you take away Tatum, they're still in the playoffs. The Cavs, you take away Donovan Mitchell, they're still. I understand Jokic is significantly better than these guys. I understand that completely. But like, there's nothing else positive in my opinion about the Denver Nuggets really outside of Nikola Jokic, who I think also is making the guys around him look better too.
Mm-hmm.
I just genuinely think Denver, because they don't have those high level role players like they did when they won, like Contavious Caldwell Pope, like the Bruce Brown, they are just fishing. There's like dead in the water right now. They're not going to be doing anything. I
You
just
want
think
you want
they're wasting Jokic here.
you want to hear my probably ridiculous take about both them and the Grizzlies, who also just fired their head coach like 2 weeks ago? I think specifically for the Nuggets, and I might be wrong now. I'm still going to say it anyway. But I think the Nuggets don't want to pay Nikola Jokic's supermax contract whenever that is coming up. So they are going to look to trade him, and they knew they would never be able to do that with Mike Malone and the GM. And I think it's the same thing with the Memphis Grizzlies, where ownership isn't going to want to pay Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, whoever, whichever one of them, and they want to trade one of them this offseason. I think we see I think Luka Doncic was simply traded because they didn't want to pay him the supermax contract, whether that's because they don't think he can win a championship, like whatever. But I don't think they wanted to pay him the supermax contract. The Minnesota Timberwolves didn't want to pay Cat, so they traded him. I think we're going to
Yeah,
see this more where once guys are on the verge of getting this supermax contract, teams are going to be willing to move on from them for picks plus players, which is what both have fetched. The Minnesota Timberwolves got Julius Randle, DiVincenzo, think somebody else, and picks, and the Dallas Mavericks got Anthony Davis, who they feel is a better fit for them for a championship, and they won't have to give him a super max contract this offseason, just a max one. So I think we see that replicated from until the next collective bargaining agreement is signed, whenever they adjust all of that.
I can see the Grizzlies. The Nuggets, though, trading Jokic,
We
I think
just saw it
that's I
happen. We just saw the Mavericks do it.
think there was a little bit more behind the scenes going on there still with that one.
We'll see. I think putting my tinfoil hat on makes me feel like we're gonna see it more, and that owners are gonna, I got no money for you, and they feel like they can't build under the salary cap. They can't build a championship team while paying someone 60 set whatever the super max works out to be.
And that's understandable. I mean, if I'm the Grizzlies, yeah, I'm not trying to pay John Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr. the supermax. Absolutely not. But if anyone's worth the supermax, it is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
I
but
can see why.
I'm
I mean, Denver's kind of stuck is their issue right now because no one wants Michael Porter Jr. in his contract. No one wants all these other guys they got really right now. So they are kind of stuck. But at the same time, as long as you have Jokic, you have a chance. And I I would pay Jokic Supermax 100 times out of 100 because it's Nikola
I'm not
Jokic.
saying I wouldn't. I would obviously as well, but I I don't know why else you would fire ownership unless it's like truly just like we don't like the coach, like we don't think the coach can bring us to the next championship, and you decide we don't want the team to get hot, run their way to an NBA championship, and have to get stuck running another year of Mike Malone and the GM back. But like I do think
Yeah,
its ownership doesn't want to pay the different sports. Boston Red Sox fired their president of baseball operations because he did not want to be the guy to trade away Mookie Betts. So they brought in a new guy that was going to be willing to trade Mookie Betts. Different
yeah,
sport, but it's the same thing. They weren't going to pay him the 350 $400 million, so they were willing to fire him to bring in the guy that was going to trade him. I,
yeah.
I, I don't know why else you would fire somebody 4 games before you are about to make a very pivotal playoff run where everyone feels like you can make a run to a championship. If it's not truly, hey, we've decided this is the path forward for the franchise. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from for sure. I just think the Nuggets is a team I have trouble seeing. But then again, it happened with the Mavericks. It happened with
It
Luca.
just
Could
happened.
happen
Yep.
with could happen with anyone in theory, but you never know.
Yeah. We'll see. Did you want to talk about the national championship game at all? I didn't watch any of it. I saw it ended without Houston getting a shot off and yada yada. I
Just
will say
heartbreak. Good.
I don't think it was a bad Final Four or a bad tournament. I know that's going around. I think it was a great Final Four and a great tournament. Like we got the 4 best teams. Isn't that what we want? We don't want like that should be the goal of all of these is we want the 4 best teams to make it and to
Mhm.
find out who's the best of the 4 of them. And Florida felt like it was the best coming into or was one of the best for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty chalk the tournament, but I mean, the best team should win the game, and it just wasn't any like big flukes this year that completely destroyed
Mm-mm.
brackets and something happened, which we've seen a lot recently. Um, Obviously, I'm upset Florida won because if Houston won, I would have won every single bracket pool I'm in, every single one.
Oh,
But
jeez.
but instead, I got second or third in every single bracket pool I was in because
Dang.
Florida won. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. Houston is an early favorite for next season, so they could be back better than ever. And Florida, not a fan of Florida, not a fan of their coach. If you know, you know. But
Yeah.
they they were the best. They were the best team coming. They were the hottest team coming into the tournament, and they continued
For
it
sure.
throughout the tournament. So props to them. Congrats, Florida Gators. Chomp chomp or whatever.
Chomp chomp.
And yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't have anything else. Did you have anything else?
Nothing else.
We talked a lot. We'll save the Jokic stuff because I think, yeah, I have some thoughts about where his place is among the pantheon of basketball. And next week we'll have a little more NBA to talk. That'll be heading into the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, and we can maybe have a guest on who's a Jokic Glazer as well, just to get things
Yeah,
interesting
we'll
here.
find it. We'll find time to get him on because I think him and I are going to disagree a good bit. It sounds like you and I are
And
going to disagree a good bit. So that should be that'll be plenty entertaining. But no other thoughts.
no other thoughts?
Nice. All right. Well, the Red Sox, please stop striking out so gosh darn freaking much. Driving me crazy. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and go Birds.